Guns N' Roses are an American hard rock band formed in Los Angeles, California back in 1985. The original lineup signed to Geffen Records in 1986, but before all this, before the band got big, they were staying in an apartment. I think even in the early days after signing to Geffen, they stayed in an apartment, a ratty old apartment, had groupies and strippers and possibly even prostitutes bring them food and money and drugs and booze. These were hard beginnings for the band, and they just couldn't afford a lot of food. I think they had to resort to eating a lot of takeout food and like Chinese food and stuff that was given, food that was given to them. The band was starting to show signs of alcohol abuse and drug use. Unfortunately, Steve Adler was still functioning well in the band, but I'll talk more about him a little bit later. This might even be the apartment that they stayed at, the 15125, I believe. Early photos of the band here. And they came out with a blistering album, Appetite for Destruction, in 1987. I mean, this album is in my opinion, one of their best. The original cover design by Rob Williams, depicting a surrealist scene in which a dagger-toothed monster eventually attacks a robot rapist, was deemed too controversial, and this is the cover of Appetite for Destruction. The original cover art was released but quickly pulled, and there are original copies of Appetite for Destruction out there with that original cover. They do sell for high dollar amounts, and then there's some that will sell for a reasonable amount of money. I'm kind of curious as to if those are bootlegs. However, you can find the original cover art inside the CD booklet of Appetite for Destruction. None of Guns N' Roses albums have been remastered for CD or anything, so you get the original sound on the CDs for sure, but there is a compilation which I'll talk about here in a minute. But some of the good songs, in my opinion, that are on Appetite for Destruction are Paradise City, Mr. Brownstone, Sweet Child of Mine, Welcome to the Jungle, another great hit, another great video too. Sweet Child of Mine was another, there was a video made for that song, My Michelle, and You're Crazy. Appetite for Destruction has been certified 18 times platinum in 2008 and sold 28 million in sales to date, I believe. But it's a great album. I like the cover art here. It was done by a guy that does tattoos. I don't know if any of the band had this tattooed on their arm or not or something, but the original artwork is pretty neat in itself. I didn't know about it until actually doing some research on the band a few years ago. So this is a very hard album. Steve Adler really tears up the drumskins on this album. He was a really good drummer. He wasn't lazy or didn't take any shortcuts into recording drums for the album or putting together drum pieces. This is a great logo here. I don't know if it's official or not, but if it might be fan made. If not, either way, it's cool to me. So you got the big skull there and the top hat that Slash wears. I think the band would go on to tour with Megadeth and Metallica and some other bands. They didn't. All three of them didn't just go out on a tour. It was these big, huge tours like Rock in Rio and stuff. More photos of the band before Steve Adler was out. GNR Lies. That's what this album's. It's an EP. Came out in 1989. You have songs like Patience, Mama Kin, Used to Love Her, and One in a Million. There's some controversy behind the song One in a Million because the N-word was used. I don't even have to really say it. All I'm going to say is that people thought that Slash was being racist and calling black people the N-word. And this upset Slash since he is half black, I believe, and half Hawaiian, I think. Slash said that he was not talking about black people. He said anybody can be an N, anybody can be ignorant, and that's what he meant. I think he did come back and say I did mean say that word towards black people since they robbed me, but in my opinion there's really no place for that word in music these days, especially. It's because people are very sensitive about that, and I totally understand it. A live DVD from 1988. I believe this is a bootleg. Looks like it's pro shot, so that's good. Live at the Ritz, but in 1991, Guns N' Roses lent the song "You Could Be Mine" to the Terminator 2 soundtrack. Now there is a video out for it, but it did not actually appear on the soundtrack. It is single only, but you can find the song on Use Your Illusion 1. And as far as Terminator 2 goes, it's a really good movie. I think it was one of the best ones next to the first film. Let's see, there was a music video made especially for this video featuring Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator character, and he's after Axl Rose. And then there's I think the guitarist at the time is also in the video, and I forget the entire plot of the video, but from what I've seen on the Terminator 2 DVD, the video looks pretty good. I think there's like a short clip of it somewhere in there. Or no, it is the full video, I believe, but that's cool. Well shot and well filmed video, as well as the movie. July 9th in 1990, Steven Adler was fired from Guns N' Roses due to his inability to perform. Since he was so heavily on cocaine and heroin, he simply couldn't perform anymore. He tried to record with the band on Use Your Illusion in 1991, but things just didn't work out. Before that, or after that, 1991 riot happened due to some technical difficulties. Axl saw a fan out in the crowd filming the band play, and he stopped the show and asked that security get the camera from the fan. And apparently the security did not act fast enough, and Axl jumped out into the crowd himself and started actually fighting with the fan. Since Axl wasn't happy with this, his management or whatever pulled him out of the crowd, and he got back up on stage and said, "Since we have lame ass security, I'm going home." The show stopped, and that's why the riot happened. But Use Your Illusion you have songs like Live and Let Die, November Rain, Dead Horse, Coma, and The Garden. Axl is now wanting more of the band's profits to keep his habit on the tracks. He has also appointed himself the creative coordinator for the band's music videos, demanding elaborate and expensive music videos. Let's see, Use Your Illusion 2 came out that same year. Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 was meant to be a 2 CD package, but instead the record company decided to make it 2 different albums, and it may have been 4 LPs, or would have been 4 LPs if the album was both albums were fused together to make it one big album. But Use Your Illusion 2, you have songs like Civil War, Yesterdays, Knocking on Heaven's Door, Don't Cry. At this time, Axl really started pushing for high budget music videos, and I mean the music videos happened, but they're really elaborate. Let's see, Don't Cry, You Could Be Mine, Estranged, Pretty Tied Up, 14 Years, and Get in the Ring. Those are really good songs, I think. And the actual cover of this album is a piece of art by I forget the guy's name. I know what it is, or I looked up the information, but yeah. The Spaghetti Incident. By this time, the band was starting to fall apart. Drug and alcohol abuse and personality clashes were really starting to affect the band. But this album and CD came out in 1993. The name for the album came after Axl and Steve Adler got into a food fight after coming to a resolution over a court case. There's some good songs on this album are Since I Don't Have You, New Rose, Ain't It Fun, and there's some cover songs on there as well. It's a pretty good album. The band Axl ended up hiring a new guitarist for this CD, and Slash didn't like that too much because the guy, I think, overshadowed him. Yeah, it's a pretty good album though. I never owned it. My friend did give me the cassette, and then the inlay for the cassette. Listened to it and didn't like it. I mean, I like it more now since I'm more open to this. But it's interesting. The artwork on the CD looks like SpaghettiOs. Doesn't really look like your high dollar spaghettis and meatballs you're used to seeing at Italian restaurants or homemade stuff. It's kind of funny, I think. But this is their last effort for a while. Pretty decent CD. 1994, Chinese Democracy, or Axl began working on Chinese Democracy, or it's reported. He began recording and writing material for the album. This is Welcome to the Videos. This is a DVD comprised of Guns N' Roses songs all the way up to, from Welcome to the Jungle all the way to Since I Don't Have You. It's pretty good. The quality of the songs are really good. The video quality of the video footage is pretty darn good for the time. But people have to remember, once Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 came out, the budget for their videos, I guess, went up or just skyrocketed. So that's where you're gonna see better quality picture, and the videos are very interesting, to say the least. I never bought this, nor do I might one day just to have it, Let's see. Pretty good DVD. It's just one DVD. There might be a bootleg of Volume 2 or something. As far as I know, Axl has not put out any new music videos for the Chinese Democracy album. 2004, Geffen Records released Guns N' Roses' Greatest Hits. This has all their hit songs on it. Welcome to the Jungle, Sweet Child of Mine, Patience, a lot of good stuff. I think I looked at the track listing, and it's not in any kind of chronological order. I don't have it out and readily available for me to look at right now, or else I would. Let's see. No, I don't have it out. Anyways, yeah, this is well worth getting. The sound quality is really good. The songs have been remastered. Fortunately, loudness did not ruin this remaster. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It has some pictures of the bands. The CD looks like a piece of metal that's gone, been scratched and stuff. That's what the artwork is on the top of the CD there. So if you can get it for an affordable price, I think there was, I think the CD in this package is enhanced in some way. I forget how it is. You might be able to watch some music videos online with the CD, but really good greatest hits. So yeah, pick it up if you can, and pick up the videos DVD if you're a big fan of the band. Guns N' Roses, Chinese Democracy. This came out in 2008, and supposedly Axl had been working on this one since 1994. Started in 1999. I've listened to a couple of songs before making this video, and I have to say that the Shackle song, I think it's Shackler something or another. It's a pretty good song. I forget the name of it. But as far as this album goes, it's Axl sings, in his classic style, Guns N' Roses style, but the musicianship in a lot of the songs, it's way different than any other Guns N' Roses album. It's like some songs are kind of techno-y, and I kind of wonder where he was trying to go with this, but I guess it's worth it getting if you're a big Guns N' Roses fan. But I'm not that big, so much of a Guns N' Roses fan. So Greatest Hits is good enough for me. So yeah, we'll see what comes out. Supposedly there's going to be a new Guns N' Roses album coming out in 2012. We'll see what happens on that. So thanks for watching, guys. Feel free to comment and have a good one.